Okay, so we're back on the 7.5 horsepower Mercury. The parts are in for the water pump, and Shopdog Oreo says the parts are in, let's get going, get this thing back together. And he's getting his Cheez-It, so he's all ready to go. He says, give me a wrench and let me have at it. So the housing for the water pump, you can take a couple of pry bars and get it underneath here, and don't damage the mating surface here, but get it underneath there and get it pried up. I've already gotten this one loose. So you get that pried up off of there. Take it all the way up off the shaft, and you've got a O-ring seal here, right in the groove there. So you take an O-ring pick and just roll it on off of there. And then you can take your new O-ring and get it into the O-ring groove there. So put your new O-ring in the O-ring groove on the base here. Put some dielectric grease in there, which is silicone grease, same as plumber's grease, so the O-ring can slide down in there without getting hung up. Slide it down the drive shaft and press it down into place. If it needs a little help, you can give it a little help with a soft face hammer until it bottoms out, which that one's bottomed out. You can put a little grease on the impeller drive key. And put that down into the flat where it lives down there. It's a little bit of tight quarters down here. You gotta get it in the flat and sitting square. So if you don't have one of these, this one here is an inexpensive one from Harbor Freight. I like to keep this one in my service truck. And when I bought this one, it was $19 and change. With today's inflation, who the hell knows? But I don't like keeping my good Starrett ones in the truck bouncing over potholes. So this one measures like 456 inside diameter, and like I said, I'll let you know what the other one is. Now this drive shaft spins as you're looking straight down on it, spins clockwise. So you've got to get this in there so that the trailing edge of your water pump is facing this way, so as it comes around and sweeps, that's what it's going to do. You don't want it bent the other way, because it's not gonna function properly. So you could put some silicone grease on this as well to help it slide down in there and give it a little bit of lubrication before the water gets in there to lubricate it, so it's not spinning dry. And you slide it down the drive shaft. There's a notch in there that's got to go over the drive key. And these can be a pain in the neck, because the smaller they are, the harder they are to get in there. I think this one here I'm going to bind up with either a hose clamp or a zip tie, and then drop it in, and when it gets most of the way down in there, I'll take the retainer off of it. Okay, so I've got it bound up with a zip tie, and you just got to get it lined up with that drive key. And get it down inside of there. There you have it. It's down in the it's down into the base. Takes a little bit of fiddling with to get it in there, because it's a small motor, and obviously the smaller the motor and everything, the tighter that is, and the less room there is to work to get it in there. But with a little patience, it'll go in. Then we've got the other parts. There's a new top wear plate. There's the guide for the water tube that goes up through the midsection, or whatever you choose to call it. And this also has a couple O-rings and seals and a new drive key. The wear plate has a little tang here that needs to line up with this notch back here. So drop it down over the over the drive shaft. Push it down into place and make sure that notches down into that where it belongs. And we'll get the cover back on it. You know, when you put the top cover on, there's a slot here that needs to line up with this tab over here. So you slide it down the drive shaft. And it should fit right on top of the base housing. Tube back in there. Or you'll be taking it apart to put that back in, because you won't be pumping any water. Well, you may be pumping water, but not properly. So it's got to go in there, and then down into the grommet over your pickup, your water pickup screen, onto the motor. And good Lord willing, the creeks don't rise. It won't be too difficult to get it on there. Sometimes they'll pop right on, and other times they'll just, for no apparent reason, will just be a struggle. We're going to be putting the lower unit back on. Sometimes they'll go right on. Sometimes they can be a little fussy. We've got to make sure that we get this pickup tube into the guide tube, and we'll see if we get this thing to slide back in there. Okay, so after a lot of fiddling with it, taking on and off a couple times, the planets got into alignment and magically is slid on. So now we've just got to get this closed up the rest of the way here. And we've got to get our bolts, our nuts started. We've got this one here. I'm going to get this one started first. Which is also what the service manual says on it. And then the other one, I've got to get, I've got to lower this down just a little bit to get the nut in there. I've got that one started. And we're all set. turn the prop. Flywheel is turning, so that's all set. The service manual says to try it in neutral, and you should be able to go both ways in neutral, and it should lock in and drive. And reverse, I'm not sure if I can get it into reverse or not. But anyway, so this one here I don't really need the service manual for, because I have a 9.8, a 1983 model, which is the same thing, and I've done this job probably half a dozen times or better on that motor. But I like to have the service manual because that's just the way I am. I started repairing things long before there was an internet, long before Google was a twinkle in its daddy's eye, as my father would say. And yeah, I just like having the service manuals around. You refer to them, you know, make sure you didn't forget something. Just give them a quick glance over, whatever. And so that's it. I'll get this thing tightened up. We'll move the stand outside, put a bucket of water underneath of it, and see how everything does. So the service manual does tell you to tighten the front one up here first. And then tighten the rear one. The rear one's a bit of a pain in the neck because there's no room to use a ratchet on it. It takes a 9/16 wrench for that nut. The front one takes a 1/2-inch wrench or socket. You don't need to go nuts with them. Alright, let me get set up outside and we'll see how this is all gonna work. Okay, so this motor's all set. It starts right up nice, it runs nice. The water pump is working. There's good strong water coming out of the telltale. It shifts into forward nicely, it shifts into reverse nicely. So that's it. It's all that's left to do is clean it up a little bit and put it up for sale. So hope maybe you got something that helps you out of this video. Please like, comment, and share the video so we can build the channel a little bit more and get to that point where YouTube shares a little bit of their profits that they make off my videos with me. And other than that, thanks for watching and have a great day.